As the long night comes bearing down on Westeros, almost everyone is heading north to prepare for the Great War, meaning that most of the characters will pretty much be on the same place at the same time. With all the main characters being in Winterfell, it only makes sense for some of them to finally reunite and share a couple of words. Jon Snow and Dany with their entire crews are currently heading north to prepare for the Great War that's coming even sooner than expected. They're sailing towards White Harbor, the main seaport of the north with the Unsullied. Once they arrive over there, they will meet the trek on the King's Road and then ride together to Winterfell. Of course, all of this will likely take place off screen, and we'll probably only see all of them together approaching Winterfell in the very beginning of the first episode. Here we can see Arya falling in love with Danish dragons as they are flying towards Winterfell. Once Jon arrives at Winterfell, he'll have a heartbreaking reunion with his family, with Sansa, Arya and Bran, as well as with his friends and his direwolf ghost. Out of all reunions, Jon-Sansa reunion is the first that's been officially confirmed to take place in the Season 8 premiere, with the Season 8 first look teaser in which we got to see a clip of Jon reuniting with his sister and Lady of Winterfell, Sansa. Some of the fans claim that the hug shared does not feel all that warm, and we should worry about Sansa's intention. Some are even going that far to claim that this clip pretty much hints Sansa's possible betrayal over Jon Snow. This, in my opinion, is not the case at all. Sansa already had an opportunity to overthrow Jon in Season 7, when the Northern Lords were complaining that the King in the North should have stayed in North, with Lord Glower and Royce even going that far to propose Sansa to take power in absence of her brother Jon. If she wanted to, Sansa would have already betrayed Jon. Instead, she insisted that Jon is their true leader, who is doing what he believes is right for their people, and that she is merely his regent. So Sansa betraying Jon theory is not happening. The reason why Sansa is glaring over Jon's shoulder turned out to be Dany. Having in mind that Sansa back in the second episode of the 7th season said that Dany doesn't want to help the North, but rather wants to conquer it, many fans are likely to assume that the Stark sisters, including the other Northern Lords, will not accept Dany as good as Jon did, but we might be wrong. Yes, there will be some tension between Sansa and Dany, until Sansa sees for herself who Dany truly is, and what her true intentions are. However, there'll be no intense moments between Arya and Dany. In fact, I think that Arya and Dany will get along very well, considering how both of them admire and respect strong and powerful women. Also, since Arya is passionate about the Targaryen history and Aegon dragon riding sister wives, as seen in Season 2 with Visenya Targaryen being her heroine, we can imagine she is predisposed to like and be fascinated by Dany and her dragons in Season 8, which this clip seems to be suggesting. Everyone is in fear of such beasts flying above them, but Arya Stark is happy to finally see one, two in fact, and soon enough the third as well. Anyways, Jon-Sansa reunion will be nice to see, but let's face it, it's not those two who have not seen each other since the very first season, and their reunion is not what we are really excited about since the last time they saw each other was literally in the last season. The reunion we're the most excited about is the reunion between Jon and Arya. We have been waiting to see the reunion between those two since the very first season. We had been hoping for Jon-Arya reunion in Season 7, but the two had just missed each other. However, they will finally reunite in the first episode of the final season. Jon loves and cares for all his siblings, but Jon and Arya have a unique bond, which show made sure to remind us of just before the actual reunion takes place. Jon and Arya were very close growing up. It was Jon who secretly had needle forged for Arya, encouraging her to become who she always wanted to be, not the lady that Westerosi custom demanded. In fact, those two were so close that in George R. R. Martin's original outline, he had them remarked as lovers. It's only fitting for them to see each other again before the Great War begins, and they will in the Season 8 premiere. While it's easy to say that Jon will be proud, but also blown away by how much Arya has grown as a fighter, it's also safe to say that Arya will support Jon's decision of bending the knee to the Dragon Queen, as dragons are the only thing that could save them now. After reuniting with his sisters, Jon will also reunite with Bran. It's been a long time since Jon seen Bran, but Bran did see Jon in Season 4 when he was traveling north of the Wall. He saw Jon from afar, fighting the mutineers to avenge Lord Commander's death. Bran is, besides Sam and Howland Reed, the only person who knows Jon's true lineage and is the only living man who actually witnessed Jon's birth. Even though he has been waiting the whole season to reveal to Jon the truth, I don't think he will reveal it to Jon at their first meeting, the reason being too many people around him. Bran and Sam will likely wait for a private moment with Jon rather than revealing to him in front of everyone. Bran might not even be the one to reveal to Jon the truth. I think it will be Howland Reed who will in the final season finally reappear, supporting House Stark and the living in the war against the dead. The Night King has brought down the wall and is marching towards Winterfell, while almost all of Westeros on the other hand is also marching towards Winterfell to defend it against the army of the dead. I don't think House Reed will be the only house beside House Lannister not to join the Great War. I think it's time for Howland Reed to finally reappear and play his role. Anyways, Jon upon arriving at Winterfell, beside reuniting with his family, Jon will also reunite with his friends. Jon and Sam will see each other for the very first time since Jon was killed and resurrected. Sam will likely reveal to Jon his true parentage, while Hound will likely finally reappear in the current timeline and confirm these Sam's statements to Jon with some evidence. Sam might also know that Jon was killed and resurrected, since these two were standing ravens to each other, but it's not been shown and therefore we cannot tell for sure if Sam knows what happened at Castle Black. If this is something Sam will learn once he reunites with his best friend, it's possible that beside revealing to Jon that he's a Targaryen, Sam might also proclaim Jon Azor Ahai. In the Season 7 premiere, the show pointed out that the book Gilly picked up and began reading was a book about the Long Night, while the exact part she was reading was about the prophecy of Azor Ahai. I already made a video regarding which character might be this prophesied savior, but Jon the Son of Ice and Fire seems more and more to be the Lord's chosen. Anyways, upon finding out about Jon's true parentage in Season 7, which basically confirms that he's the Song of Ice and Fire, and upon finding out about Jon's death and resurrection in the final season, it's quite possible that Sam will proclaim Jon Azor Ahai, a hero that was reborn amid smoke and salt, a hero that will wield the flaming sword to stand against the others, and if he falls, the world falls with him. I also believe that the book about the Long Night that Gilly was reading in Season 7 premiere will resurface in the final season, which would likely lead Sam to once again ask Bran if he is able to look back in time, but this time even beyond into the past, to see what exactly happened the last time the White Walkers came for the living. This is how Sam and Bran will play a huge role in the final season, as they will help Jon and Dany strategize for their fight against the Night King and his army of the dead. This will most probably involve quite a few flashbacks where we would learn a bit more about the White Walkers and their motivation. Now that Jon has reunited with his family and friends, he has one more important reunion to face, the one with his direwolf. It has been confirmed that Ghost will finally return in Season 8, and one can only say finally. We all enjoy the dragons, but the direwolves have also been a huge part of the Game of Thrones, especially of the Stark children. We have not seen Ghost ever since Jon's resurrection. For all of you wondering where Ghost even is, he's at Winterfell. The showrunners confirmed that Ghost remained at Winterfell with Sansa when Jon left to meet Dany at Dragonstone. Anyways, the Game of Thrones production has much higher budget for Season 8, and with that being said, it only makes sense for Ghost to finally reappear. Jon will reunite with Ghost early on in the season, and I'm sure we'll see more of him in the following episodes, especially in the battle for Winterfell that is most likely taking place in Episode 3. However, it's not only Jon who is arriving at Winterfell, and it's not only Jon who will reunite with the people he loves and cares about. Senator the Hound Clegane is arriving as well, and he'll finally reunite with Sansa and Arya, perhaps the only two people he cares about in this world. He's basically been their only true friend south of Winterfell. The Hound helped Sansa a lot, back when both of them were in King's Landing, and even offered to escort her back to safety, which Sansa unfortunately refused. He also helped her sister Arya, trying to escort her back to her family, but unfortunately the Red Wedding occurred. Arya learned a great deal from the Hound, and some even claim that she sometimes acts like him. It's safe to say that the Hound will be more than proud to see how Arya has become such a great fighter. Arya, beside reuniting with Jon and the Hound, she will also reunite with one more character that is arriving in Winterfell with Jon and Dany. It's Gendry. The two shared a lot of time together in earlier seasons, and both of them have grown to like and deeply care for each other. Perhaps their reunion might even give us a hint or two that Gendry's father's promise to Arya's father in Season 1 might finally be fulfilled. King Robert was talking about Joffrey, who he thought was his son, and Ned's daughter Sansa. However, this never happened, and therefore House Stark and Baratheon have not been joined yet. However, a huge amount of fans believe that this marriage might finally happen in the form of Robert's only son Gendry and Ned's daughter Arya. Having in mind that Arya is at Winterfell while Gendry on the other hand is arriving there in Season 8 premiere, those two will certainly reunite in the final season, and it's going to be interesting to see how their relationship will play out. While we're all excited for the big reunions, there's plenty of, let's call it, minor reunions that are also going to be very interesting, such as Jorah Mormont reuniting with Lyanna Mormont and Sam. This episode is full of reunions, but it's also an episode full of first meetings, out of which some are said to be intense, such as Sansa meeting Dany. However, this will not be Dany's only tense first meeting, as beside the Lady of Winterfell, she's also going to meet Jon Snow's best friend Samwell Tarly, whose father and brother she burned alive during this past season. Many argue Sam will not care about it, and the truth be told, he probably won't mourn much about his father being burned alive, but he might care about his brother. Anyways, it's not only Dany, Jon and their crews that are heading from King's Landing to Winterfell, there's one more man that's heading north to help the living win the Great War. It's Jaime Lannister, whose arrival at Winterfell might have even been teased by the official Season 8 pictures. Here we can see Jaime in a Stark armor, that by the way looks exactly like Rob's, sitting in a room that, judging by the type of wall in the background, seems to be located at Winterfell. Jon and Dany and all other main characters who are traveling with them will arrive at Winterfell in the beginning of Season 8 premiere, But Jaime, who's unlike them been traveling on his horse instead of a boat, will likely arrive a bit later, either in the Season 8 premiere final moments or in the beginning of Episode 2. Jaime will have a huge reunion with quite a bit of characters. There's Tyrion and Brienne, who will likely be happy and proud that Jaime has honored his pledge, while Dany might be a little bit suspicious about his intentions once she finds out Cersei does not plan to aid them in the Great War to come. Of course, Jaime's most important reunion is the one with Bran Stark. As we all know, back in the first season, Jaime was caught having an intimate relationship with Cersei by Bran. To keep Bran reporting what he had just witnessed, which would have resulted with Jaime, Cersei and their children being executed, Jaime had to push Bran out of the tower window, costing Bran the ability to walk and rendering him a cripple. The question we all have regarding this reunion is, how will Bran react? At first glance, we would assume that Bran would react angrily, since that's the man who almost killed him the last time they saw each other, but that most likely will not be the case. Jon Snow invited the Lannisters to come and support the living in the wars to come. Jaime agreed and he honored his pledge, meaning that no harm would Jon do to him, nor would he allow anyone else to do so. Meaning that Arya most likely will not kill Jaime as soon as she finds out Jaime attempted to kill her sibling. However, it's not the Stark reaction we're looking for in this reunion, it's Bran's. In the 4th episode of the 7th season, Bran stated that he is not Bran Stark anymore, but rather the Three-Eyed Raven. What does that mean? It means that he will not sentence Jaime to death, nor will he allow anyone else to do him any harm. Rather than sentencing Jaime to death, Bran will, in my opinion, reveal to everyone the real truth behind Jaime's so-called betrayal over Dany's father, the Mad King. Jaime should not be mocked and called a Kingslayer, but rather the hero and the savior of the city, as Jaime killed the Mad King just because he could not let him burn hundreds of thousands of innocent people. Yes, Jaime was one of the established members of the Kingsguard under the Mad King, and his duty was to protect the king from harm at all times. But even if Jaime decided that all the innocent people of King's Landing are not worth of killing his king, he would have still broken an oath. The Kingsguard is an elite group of 7 knights who are religiously influenced by the code of chivalry and honor. This code states that the knights must defend the weak and innocent, so even if Jaime, instead of killing him, did let the Mad King burn the capital to the ground along with all the innocent people in it, Jaime would have still broken an oath. So seemingly an intense reunion which some think could end with Jaime's death will likely be just the opposite. Jaime and his great deeds will finally get the recognition he and his act against the Mad King deserve. There you have it, guys, all confirmed reunions of the final season of Game of Thrones, and all of them are happening in the Season 8 premiere. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.